अलवेली सरकार की जय। श्रीमद् सतगुरु सरकार की जय। आनंद कर प्रसन्नम प्रेम स्वरूपम ब्रज भावयुक्तम योगीन्द्रमीड्यम भवरोग वैद्यम गुरुं कृपालुं प्रणमामि नित्यम्। राधा करावचित पल्लव वल्लरी की। राधा पदांक विलसन मधुरस्थली की। राधा यशो मुखर मत खगावली के। राधा विहार विपिने रमतां मनो में। नमः कमलनाभाय नमः कमलमालिने नमः कमल पादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तद्ब्रह्मदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। We'll do some kirtan. After that we start the subject. मेरी राधा रानी राधा रानी राधा रानी मेरी राधा रानी श्रीमद सतगुरु सरकार की जय। श्रीमद युगल सरकार की जय। So far we have understood that Bhagavad is the foremost scripture, and this Bhagavad Grantha, there are altogether 12 cantos. The 10th canto is very important because all the secrets of bhakti are discussed in 10th canto, and the leelas of Lord Krishna are depicted in the 10th canto as well. Besides that, it was also explained that in 10th canto also there are 5 chapters of Ras Pancha Mahadhyayi, and Ras Panchadhyayi depicts about the Ras, the most confidential pastime of Shri Radha Krishna, which reveals the highest kind of bliss. There is nothing beyond the bliss of Maharas. In Maharas, there were 4 kinds of gopis, yet the main thing which was seen in all the gopis, without that quality, any devotee cannot attain the bliss of Maharas, is complete self-surrender and selflessness. It was also explicated that the meaning of self-surrender is that surrender of self. When self is surrendered, then when you sacrifice something, then either you have no inkling of giving, now you have the inkling of the giver as well. The giver himself merges into the ocean of love of beloved. If there is an inkling of I gave this, I did this. If I is there, it means there is no complete self-surrender. The gopis surrendered themselves completely, and the meaning of selflessness, which was the main concept of the gopis, gopi love, gopi prem, was they didn't know, they have no idea at all that what is self-desire or what is self-happiness. Whatever they were doing since morning till night, they were doing only for the happiness of Sri Krishna and Sri Radha. They have, if you say, many people think that selflessness means that you give up all the desires. Even those who have gone up to Anurag Bhakti or Sneh Bhakti, They also give up all the desires. But the desire of self-happiness, completely forget about your own happiness, is very difficult. And the gopis did it. So, in Maharaj, the qualities of Gopi Prem, or in other words, the characteristic of the highest kind of love is depicted in Ras Panchadhyay. So we have started already that the gopis who were deserving Maharaj, they were told by Sri Krishna 1 year earlier, at the time of Chirharan Leela, that right after 1 year, I will bestow the bliss of Maharaj to all of you in the witness of these knights. All those knights were divine who were standing over there, and after 1 year, those knights reached Lord Krishna just to remind that you promised something. The knights were also waiting for this moment because they also wanted to have the glimpse of the exclusive pastime of Maharaj. It is so difficult to access that only the gopis who have those qualities, who were the embodiment of the love, of the ideology of Shri Radharani, only they could attain. And yesterday it was also told that Bhagavan Shankar also had to go, when he wanted to go, he also had to have the form of a gopi, only then he could enter. Mahalakshmi could never attain Maharaj. She had austerity for thousands of years, but she could not attain Maharaj. Brahma also had the austerity for 60,000 years. Even then, he could not attain even the foot dust of the gopis. What to say further? So, when the knights went over there to remind Sri Krishna, and then he remembered and looked towards the night, the beauty of the night, because all the nights have thousands of beautiful arts which they were showing at that time, so that the night became extremely beautiful. It was never seen that beautiful before in Vrindavan as it was on that day. Then he saw towards the moon also. Moon was also there with all its arts. Then Lord Krishna thought, yes, because I have promised the gopis, now I have to bestow that nectar of divine love to them. He made a desire to do it. He made it deliberately. Although God does not have mind. In fact, the Vedas say they have no senses. Apani pado javano grahita pashyatya chakshu sachinotya karna savetti vedyam nachatasta asti vesta tamahuragyam purusham mahantam saparyaga chukramakay mamrin masnavinam shuddhamapam viddam kavir manishi paribhu swayambhu. All these hymns are saying he has no body, he has no senses, but he has all the senses as well, because he is the abode of all the contradictory qualities. That's why when Lord Krishna had to please his devotees, and these devotees who were going to attain the rasa of Maharaj, they were exclusive devotees. Everything, they sacrificed everything. And Lord Krishna said for the gopis, Na pareham niravadya sanyujam swasadu krityam vibudhayushapiva yama bhajan durjarageha shrinkala samrishya tattva pratiyatu sadhana. He is saying that Na pareham, O gopis, I am so much bewildered by you, because you have sacrificed everything. You cut asunder all the shackles of the society, of your clan, of your family, just because of me. So if I attain the ayu of the devatas, which is thousands of years, even then I cannot be free from the debt of yourself. The gopis loved Sri Krishna so much because they have nothing in the mind except Sri Krishna. That's why he thought I should do that. And then Yoga Maya Mupashrita, he went to Sri Radharani to have permission because without the presence of Sri Radharani, he could not play this pastime, because this pastime was purely an amorous pastime, a pastime of divine love bliss, and Sri Radharani is the embodiment of the highest bliss. Without Sri Radharani, it was impossible. So, Sri Radharani permitted Lord Krishna, and she suggested to call them with the sound of flute, and Sri Krishna then played his flute. As soon as the gopis heard the sound of the flute, Nishamya Geetam Tadananga Vardhanam Brajastriyah Krishna Grihita Manasaha Ajagmuranyonyamalakshitojyamaha Sayatra Kanto Javalola Kundalaha. The sound of the flute went in the heart of the gopis. Krishna Grihita Manasa. The meaning of this word is the sound. Through the sound, Lord Krishna has taken away their hearts. Krishna Grihita Manasa. Their manasa, their heart, were taken away by Sri Krishna. And that's why they were busy in various kind of household chores, but as soon as the sound of the flute reached their heart, they were unable to do anything, because without the attachment of mind, it is impossible to perform any action. Even if you are having this glass in your hand and your mind completely goes somewhere else, then you will not know and you will drop the glass from your hand. Without the attachment of mind, nobody can perform any action at all, neither a mental action or the physical action. It cannot be done. Attachment of mind is compulsory. So if mind is not there, then how could they do anything? Some gopis were serving food to their family, and the sound came in their heart, and they left that work right over there, and they went towards Sri Krishna. Some were wearing the clothes. They heard the voice of Sri Krishna's flute, and they had no inkling that what they are wearing where. They wear the clothes of which should be worn below the waist. They worn it on their neck, and the other clothes they wear somewhere else. In that way, they all were doing. They were trying to decorate themselves with the ornaments. They wore their ornaments also in absolute way, and in that way, all the gopis, most of the gopis reached over there at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna in disarrayed manner. But there were some gopis also, probably there was some lack in their complete self-surrender. They took some more time. And Shukdev Ji Maharaj explained it, that Tame Paramatmanam Jarbuddhyapi Sangata. Those gopis they had no idea that Sri Krishna is God. So they loved Sri Krishna wholeheartedly. They sacrificed everything for Sri Krishna alone, but they have no idea that Sri Krishna is God. They attracted towards Sri Krishna as a girl gets attracted to a beautiful boy, and they get they fall in love with each other. In the same way, in a material way, they were attracted to Sri Krishna. And it was explained by Shukdev Ji Maharaj to Parikshit. When Parikshit heard it, then he was surprised that if they had no idea that Sri Krishna was God, then how did they reach Sri Krishna? How did they reach Maharaj? Because it was also said by Shukdev Ji Maharaj that they wanted to go, but their husbands stopped them. Strictly, they said, you can't go because I am your husband. This is my order. You cannot go. I have full right on you. Then the gopis, because their heart was burning out of separation, as soon as they heard, because the sound of the murli went in their heart as well. So as soon as they heard the sound of the murli, they were desperate to meet Sri Krishna right away. So much fire of separation was written in there that they could not wait even for a second. But their husbands were not letting them go. Then they just thought, they closed their eyes and they meditated upon the beautiful form of Sri Krishna and they embraced Sri Krishna. When they were seeing this in meditation, when they were feeling this in meditation, that they are embracing Sri Krishna, they had so much bliss of meeting Shyam Sundar, embracing Shyam Sundar, that they drowned in that bliss. And because of the fire of separation which was burning in their heart, any sanskar, the bad sanskar which were left, they were just preventing them to sacrifice self fully, they were also burned. And because of the darshan, because of the alingan, because of the hugging of Shyam Sundar, they also got all the powers and they left their body right away and they reached to Sri Krishna first of all. So this was confusing for Parikshit. He said that when they loved Sri Krishna as an ordinary human being, then they should also get the result of an ordinary human being. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tathaiva bhajamyaham, Lord Krishna said himself. So if they were loving Sri Krishna with the feeling that he is an ordinary being, then they should also get the result of ordinary being. But how come they went to Sri Krishna, who was Brahma? Krishnam vidu param kantam natu brahmataya mune. O Muni, they didn't love him as God. They didn't reach God. Sri Krishna, Parat Brahma, Sri Krishna, Swayam Sri Krishna. They went over there and they attained all love of Sri Krishna. And then they were sent to Golok as well. How come it was possible? Then he explained everything, that if your mind is attached completely to Sri Krishna with any kind of feeling, kamam, krodham, bhayam, sneham, maikyam, sauhardam cha nityam harau vidadatu yanti tanmayatam hite. If you are thinking about someone all the time, then your mind gets saturated with the feelings of that person. That person comes in the heart completely if you think about that person all the time. So if you are thinking all the time about Sri Krishna, the gopis were thinking all the time only about Sri Krishna, then their mind was also saturated. It got saturated with Sri Krishna, and if somebody is remembering God all the time, then it means that devotee is fulfilling the condition to be surrendered completely, to be accepted by Sri Krishna. Ananyashchintayanto mam ye jana pariyupasati tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. Lord Krishna said, Ananyashchintayanto mam. All what you have to do, you exclusively, you have to remember me alone. That's all. If you are doing that, then I will accept you. So the gopis did that. That's why they were accepted. Those gopis who didn't have this idea that Sri Krishna is Brahma, they were also accepted by Lord Krishna. After that, when the gopis reached over there, the other gopis had already reached at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. And these gopis also reached over there. All of them reached over there. Then what happened? When they reached at that spot where Sri Krishna was playing his flute, he is calling them forcibly by stealing their minds. And now he, like the neutral person, he is just busy in playing his flute. The gopis are coming one by one and they are sitting there with folded hand, down-headed. They are sitting there, they are waiting. That he told us to wait for one. After taking all the tests, he said to us to wait for 1 year. And now we have come over here. Even then he is making us wait. Why? He is playing his flute, he is not even looking towards us. And he was playing. After a long time, he stopped his flute. And then he looked towards the gopis as something happened which was not expected. He looks towards all the gopis. How come so many gopis are here today? I was alone. I was enjoying my flute alone in the forest. How come all of them have come over here? So he was looking surprisingly, and then he asked them, like, if some guest come to your place all of a sudden, then what will you do? Oh, welcome, welcome. How are you? Is there anything? How did you come today all of a sudden? So Lord Krishna also, he said, Swagatam vo mahabhaga priyam kim karavaniva rajasyanāmayam kachit bruta gamana karanam. He's asking, Swagatam, Swagatam, welcome, welcome. Oh, you are here, all of you? How come? Why did you come, all of you? But anyway, if you have come, I welcome you. Swagatam. Priyam kim karavani mein. And as we ask people that what can I do for you? So Shri Krishna is also asking those gopis, Priyam kim karavani va. What can I do? What seva? What service can I render you over here? You are here. Although I am in jungle, I cannot offer you tea or coffee or rasgulla, etc. But whatever I can do, just let me know that what service can I render to you. The gopis didn't say anything. Look at him. He called us forcibly, and now he is saying that what can I do? Why did you come? Then when the gopi didn't say anything, then Lord Krishna asked them, Brajasyanāmayam kachit? Is there any problem which has come in the Braj? Because I have been helping many times. When sometimes he saved from Indra, Bakasur, Aghasur. There were so many problems which came on Braj. On all the time Sri Krishna solved them. So he is saying that probably some other problem has come to the Braj. If there is any problem, let me know. I will go and I will see, I will try to resolve it. But the gopis are not seeing, and in their mind they are seeing there is no other problem in Braj, but the problem has come to us. There is no other bhoot, the Nand Poot is only the one who is bothering us so much. We are burning and he is not realizing. We are desperate to have the love and he is not realizing it, and he has become so neutral. Then gopis didn't say anything. Then he said, okay, now I understand why did you come. Because the beauty of Vrindavan is exclusive today. It is never seen before. Such kind of beauty was never seen before in Vrindavan. So probably you came to see the beauty of Vrindavan. See, the breeze is so soothing, is so pleasant. This breeze is coming, touching the water of Yamuna river, and there are the flowers, the kumud are there, they are touching them with the fragrance, the breeze is coming there, and the moon is so beautiful, the night is so beautiful, the flowers are so the flowers of all the 6 seasons are seen here. Everything is so beautiful. Probably you came to see the beauty of the forest. Generally people go in many paths to see the beauty. They have the fragrance of the flowers. Probably you also came with the same purpose. So that's all right. There is no harm. But drishtam vanam kusumikitam rakesh kararanjitam yamuna lilai jattarupallava shobhitam. You have seen. Did you see the beauty? You have seen the beauty. If you have not seen, see once again. And then go back. Rajannesha ghora rupa ghora sattva nishevita pratiyat bhajamneham stheyam stribhi sumadhama. Now he's saying if you have seen the beauty of this forest, you should go back now. Why? Because Rajannesha ghora rupa, it is midnight. It's too dark over here. And this is a jungle. Many wild animals are roaming here and there. You didn't bring any weapon with you. At least you should have, you were supposed to bring one lathi, one stick, so that if some animal would come to bother you, you could use that, but you didn't bring anything. And there are lots of reptiles also on the floor. It is very dangerous to stay over here at this time. And secondly, you are the ladies, I am another man. So to come to, for the ladies who belong to good families, they should not go to some other man at this time, at least in midnight. It is very bad, it is very defaming. That's why you should go back immediately. The gopis were really distressed. What is he doing? What happened to him? Something is wrong with his mind, or what happened? He is intoxicated, he drank something. I don't know what happened to him. He called us himself, and now he's talking like that. The gopis were very much distressed. Then again he said, Tadyatamachiram goshtham sushru shadvam patin sati krandanti vatsa balascha tan payata duhyata. Tadyatamachiram. Machiram means immediately. You should go back immediately. Where? Goshtham. You should go back to your homes. Tadyatmachiram goshtham sushru shadvam patin sati. Why should we go back? To serve your husbands. You should go and serve your husband. Krandanti vatsa balascha. Probably your children are crying because you are here. They must be searching you. The children must be crying for you. And probably you have to serve your cows and cows as well. This is your duty. So you should go and do your duty. This is your dharma. Bhartus sushrushanam istrinam paro dharmo yamayaya. Bhartus sushrushanam istrinam. The service towards your husband is par dharma. He is saying it is the highest dharma for the ladies to serve their husbands. Bhartus sushrushram istrinam paro dharmo yamaya tadbandhu nam cha kalyanya prajanam chanu poshanam. And also you are supposed to serve the other family members which belong to your husband. Means your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, your brother-in-law, etc. They are your family members. They belong to the family of your husband. This is your ultimate dharma. This is your paradharma, the biggest dharma. Go and serve them. Still the gopis didn't give any answer. Now they are just shedding tears, and they were scratching the earth with their thumb, but they didn't say anything. And they were thinking in their mind that if you want to give lecture today, so keep on doing lecture, and we will give you answer later on. We'll fix you it. But now you are very much interested in giving lecture. Probably you never gave any lecture, so today you found the time to give the lecture. So keep on giving lecture. Gopis are saying, okay, keep on saying whatever you want to say. And Lord Krishna still he is saying, Aswargyo maya shasyancha falgukitcham bhayavaham jugupsitam cha sarvatra aupupatyam kulastriya. You should know one thing, that the most heinous action is this. It is most defaming. Aswargya maya shasyancha. If you will come to me, if you love me in this way, then you will not attain Swarg also. You will not go to heaven. It means you will go to hell. You will not go to heaven. Aswargya. You will be deprived from going to the Swarg to have a good gati. It is called gati. Wherever someone goes after his death is called gati. So you will not get good gati also. You will not have Swarg. You will not have the heaven. And Ayashatsincha. In this world also, everybody will defame you. That she is a corrupted lady. She goes to other men in the night. They will say like that. So in that way, neither you will get anything thereafter, and you will not attain any good reputation here as well, in this world also. In this world also, they will defame you, and after that also you will not get anything good. Lord Krishna is taking full test of the gopis. If they are interested, if they are attached anywhere in their children, in their husband, in their family, if they have any care for their reputation in the world, if they have any care for what I am going to get thereafter, like Arjuna said to Lord Krishna, when Lord Krishna said, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja, he said, I am ready to do that, but if I will give up everything, then what will happen to my sins which I have already committed in past? Then Lord Krishna had to say that aham tam samapapebhyo mokshayishyam ashucha. Don't worry about that also. I will forgive. I will take care of everything. In the same way, he is testing the gopis also. If their mind is stuck anywhere, if they have a little bit of care of anything, even then they will not get Maharaj. That's why he is doing all that. Then he says that when the gopi didn't care for whatever he said so far, then Lord Krishna said, Dushilo durbhago vriddho jado rogya dhano piva patistri bhirna hatavyo loke subhira pataki. If the husband is dushil, his character is not very good, dushilo, durbhago, if he is most unfortunate person, vriddho, if he is too old, if he is very sick, and or he is very poor, if there is anything wrong with the husband, even then our dharma says, the dharma of a lady says that she should not leave her husband. Doesn't matter what defect are there in the husband, but they should not leave their husband. This is our scriptures say. This is the highest dharma of a lady says. Now the gopi thought it is too much. He is not stopping his lecture. No, we are waiting for Maharaj, and he is giving lecture after lecture. I think he will explain the whole way today. Then we have to stop him. That's why the gopi said, Maivam vibhor hati bhavan gaditum nishansam santyajya dharman tava padamule. Maivam vibhorhati bhavan gaditum nishansam santyajya dharman tava padamule. You do, nishansam means cruel. Oh Shri Krishna, you are not supposed to utter these cruel words for us. Because Santyajya Sarva Dharma, we have Sarva Vishayas, we have given up, we have abandoned all kind of the matters of the world. We gave up. No, we rejected everything in this world life. We didn't care for our family members, for our mother-in-law, father-in-law, for husband, for siblings, for the friends, for the reputation, for the society. We have given up everything. And after that, I mean everything, I am here for you alone. Santyaj sarvishas tava padamulam. Now we have come to your lotus feet. So, Bhakta bhajasva durvagraha matajasman devo yathadi purusho bhajate mumukshun. So what should I do? If you have given up everything, you sacrificed everything and you have come here for me alone. So what are you expecting from me? Then the gopis say, Bhakta bhajasvan durvagraha matyayasman. Oh, Durvagraha means, oh stubborn. On the one hand, they are saying you are God and you should accept us. And on the other hand, they are using the word, oh stubborn, you are extremely stubborn person and you should know that because we have abandoned everything only for the sake of your love, that's why you should accept us as God accepts His devotees. Bhakta bhajasva durvagraha matyajasman. Do not leave us. Do not tell us to go. After every sentence you are saying, go back, go back, go back. It is hurting us. Do not leave us. Do not abandon us. Rather, bhajasva. Rather, you should accept me as God accepts mumukshun, the devotees who want to attain moksha, who want to attain liberation. God accepts them. That's why you should also accept us. Don't be so cruel. You're extremely cruel now. Then Lord Krishna said, why are you telling me like this, the hard words? Because whatever I am saying is for your welfare. I am suggesting you something good for your reputation, for your name and fame, for your welfare. And you don't understand it. Okay, probably I am talking about the philosophy of the Vedas, the philosophy of the other scriptures you don't understand because you are not educated. Although Sri Krishna is also not educated, you know that he is also not educated, but he is saying that because you are not educated, probably you are not understanding what the teachings I am giving you right now. So I am going to explain it to you with a very simple example, and you will understand that. What is that example? Then now he is saying that there was a lady. She was very sincere to her husband, Pativrata. Pativrata means the one who loves her husband only, never think about any other man, even in dream. That kind of ladies are called Pativrata. There was a Pativrata lady. She was very sincere to her husband. So one day, he had a one-room home, and she was sitting on the floor. Her husband was resting, putting his head on her lap. He was sleeping. Her husband was sleeping, and she was sitting. All of a sudden, her little child came over there. On the other side, there was a chulha, the U-shaped clay stove, and the the woods were burning in the chulha. So the boy came, the little boy, he came from outside and he was going towards that chulha, that clay stone. She thought, she was scared. She thought, he is going towards the fire. He may fell down in the fire, so I should save him. But and the next moment she thought, if I go to save my child, then he will wake up. My husband is sleeping here, and he will wake up. Then it will be an offense against my husband. It is against the service towards my husband. So I should not get up. Then if I won't get, then I will lose my child. I have to lose one thing, either my sincerity towards my husband or my child. Then he decided to lose her child. So seeing this sincerity of that lady, even the fire, the Devta, fire is called a Devta, Agni Devta, even the fire was trembled, and he had no courage. The fire did not have courage to burn her child. There was so much power in the sincerity of that lady. So Gopis, I want to tell you, if you also serve your husbands, you will have that kind of power in you. No, there's lots of power in those ladies who serve their husbands sincerely. The Gopis smiled. They said, I didn't know that you are a Kathavachak also. You say a good Katha. Now, but even you said this story, we also remember one story of a very sincere lady. Lord Krishna said, which story are you going to tell? And there was a lady, she was very innocent and very, very sincere to her husband. Every day, this was her routine, that he was doing all the seva of her husband. Then she was cooking food, she was offering the food to her husband. After that, she was eating any piece of green. Before that, she was not getting anything at all. Once her husband said that I have to go outside this village. For what? To earn some money for 6-7 days. The lady said, no, you can't go. Why? Because I serve you every day. I offer you food every day. After that I eat. If you will go for 7 days, then who would I serve? Who would I offer the food? Then how would I eat? How can I live for 7 days without eating? That's why I won't let you go. But the husband tried his best to make her understand that it's very important for me to go. And when she was not ready to listen to him, then she made his own idol of clay. And he said that, see, this is my murti, and every day you can serve this murti and offer the food to this murti, and then you can eat. That innocent lady thought, okay. He said, is there any difference between yourself and this murti? He said, no, there is no difference. If you will serve, if you will offer food to this murti, it means you are offering it to me. If you are serving this murti, it means you are serving me. That's why don't worry about that. The innocent lady accepted it. When, after 7 days, when her husband came, he was knocking the door. Open the door, and that time she was serving the murti. Now she was confused. She was thinking in her mind that I should finish this seva for this murti first, or I should go to open the door. She said, if I go to open the door, then this seva will be distracted. That will be a sin. And if I don't go, then my husband is standing over there. It will be an offense against him. Then what should I do? So she was confused. So the Gopi said, Sri Krishna, See, it seems like you have lots of knowledge of the Vedas because for 1 hour you are giving the knowledge of the Vedas only. This is Paradharma, this is the ultimate dharma, this is the Istri dharma, this is the this dharma, that dharma. All the time you are teaching us. So you tell us that what was she supposed to do? She was supposed to open the door for her husband, or she was supposed to serve that clay model of her husband. Lord Krishna is not this very common thing. When her real husband is standing at the door, then what was the need of serving the Murti? Then the gopis, all of them, they said, yes, yes, now you are caught. What does it mean? That whatever you were talking about dharma, it should apply to you alone. How come? You said that if the real husband is there, then why should you worship the Murti in the same way? We have been serving the unreal husband, the physical husbands. They are not our real husbands. They are the temporary husbands for one life only. As soon as our life will be finished, in next life, all the relations will be changed. The husband, the wife, the father, mother, everyone will be changed. They are not our real husbands. But we were serving them so far because we didn't reach our real husband. So you are the real husband of all the living beings. And you said it in the Vedas also. Krishna menam avehitva matmanam makhilatmanam jagadhitaya sopyatra dehi vabhati mayayam teshamaham priya atma sutascha sakha guru srido daivamishtam. You have said that I am the sun, I am the Suhrid means Mitra, I am Guru, I am Sun, I am Dev, I am Ishtadev, Ishwar of all the living beings. So you are the real husband of all the living beings. Teshamaham Priya. You are the Priyatam of all the living beings, natural Priyatam. And we were supposed to come to you long time ago. Now we have come to the right place. So instead of telling us, now you have come to the right place, never go from here. You were supposed to say, gopis, you should never go from here. You are saying constantly, go back. Why are you saying that? Because the duty which we had to do with them, with the family members, with our husband and children, etc., that is the sharirik, this is the physical duty. And whatever we are going to do with you, that is the duty of soul. There are two things, two kinds of dharma. When Shaunakadik Rishi asks their Guru Sutji that what is the most kalyankari, which is the best thing for the living beings, then Shaunakadik Rishi said there are two kinds of dharma. Two kinds of dharma. We are also the combination of two things. The body, which is material, which comprises senses, mind and intellect, etc. And the soul. So there are two kinds of dharma. Dharma belonging to the body and dharma belonging to the soul. Dharatita dharma. They asked Sri Krishna, do you know what is the definition of dharma? Probably you don't know. Lord Krishna said, no, I know everything. What do you want to say? They said, Dharati dharma. Whatever is acceptable is called dharma. Whatever is acceptable for this body, that is the dharma of body. And whatever is acceptable by our souls, that is called the dharma of soul, means spiritual dharma. That is spiritual dharma. So the dharma which belongs to body is called prayer, and the dharma which belongs to soul is called prayer. So there are two things, shreya and prayer. Tayoh shreya adudanasya sadhur bhavati. Hiyate arthad yo preyo virite Kathopisha. In these two, there are two aims of life, shreya and pray. So those who follow the rules of shreya, those who select shreya, they attain the ultimate goal of life. They are relieved. They get freedom from Maya. They become happy. They attain bliss. And hiyate arthat yau preyo rinite. And hiyate arthat. They fall. Hiyate, fall. From arthat. Arthat means from your aim of life. Who yau preyo rinite. Those who choose to follow the prayer, those who give more importance to prayer. Prayer means anything which gives pleasure to our senses. Shreya, anything which gives pleasure to our soul. So those who choose prayer, those who are concentrated on the pleasure of the senses, they always become unhappy. Their life will always be miserable. They will have to wander in the cycle of death and birth for unlimited time. But those who choose shreya, those who follow the path of shreya, they attain the ultimate goal of life, that is happiness. We all want to attain bliss alone, and bliss, the other name of bliss is God. Anando brahmeti vijanat. Anandadhyev kalmani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandam prentapi samvishanti. So God is bliss. So they are saying, Sri Krishna, that why are you indicating towards the wrong direction? We are going towards the right direction. You also said in Gita, Savai punsam parodharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje. You are saying that bharta sushrushram istrinam parodharmo hi maya. You just said that the paradharma, the highest dharma of the ladies is to serve their husbands. Bharatu sushrushram istrinam parodharma. That is the paradharma. But in Gita it is written, Savai punsam parodharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje. Bhakti radhokshaje. Bhakti, the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, is paradharma. Ahitokya pratihata yayatma samprasidati. Paradharma is what? Yayatma samprasidati. That dharma which pleases the Atma, which fulfills the aim of Atma, that kind of dharma is paradharma. And all of them are apardharma. So you are telling us to follow apardharma. Paradharma, apardharma is the physical dharma, sharirik dharma, material dharma, prakrit dharma. There are many names which belong to the body, senses, mind and intellect, etc. That is apardharma, lower dharma. And paradharma, the dharma of soul. It is called adhyatmic dharma, spiritual dharma, bhagavad dharma, natural dharma. There are many names of this dharma as well. So we have to follow paradharma. And you are saying bhartu sushrushram istrinam parodharmo maya. That is not our paradharma. Once Uddhavji also asked Lord Krishna that there are so many kinds of dharma. We are confused. We don't know which dharma should we follow and which dharma we should not follow. Somebody says that you should worship this, somebody says no, you should attain knowledge, somebody says no, you should do all these yajna and japa and tap. There are so many things. What is right out of them? Then Lord Krishna said, Mayadau Brahmane Prokta Dharmo Yasyam Madatmaka Kalena Nashta Pralaye Variyam Veda Sangita Dharmameke Shashyamnyam Kamam Satyam Dhamam Shamam Anye Vadanti Swartham Va. He's saying that there are so many dharmas. Somebody says you should speak truth. Somebody says you should donate as much as you can. That is the highest dharma. Somebody says no, you should fulfill your desires, and then one day you will realize God. Somebody says no, you should attain moksha. There are so many dharma, but I have already told dharmo yasyam madatmaka, which dharma will bring you towards me. I have talked about that already. But whatever I said, my vani, my teachings, they went in many ears. Different people heard it. Ten prokta cha putraye manave purvajaya sa tato bhrigvadayo grinam sapta brahma maharshaya. Many kind of people, many level of people heard about the dharma which I said. But I am telling you in short now that all of them, dharma, karma, satya, daya, tap, etc., all of them are adyantavanta evaisham loka karma vinirmita dukkho darkas tamo nishtha chudrananda shucharpita. All of them are adyantavant. They give only temporary result. Adyantavant. Do any yajna, do any tapasya, do you speak truth, or you are giving lots of alms, they will give temporary results only. Adyantavant evaisham lokaha. And the result you will get, karma vinirmita, by all these action, due to all these action, wherever you will go, in whatever planet you go, that will also be temporary, and there is no permanent happiness also. We all want, by nature, we want to attain permanent happiness. Temporary happiness we are getting in this world also. We eat rasgulla, we feel happy. The temporary happiness is given by the things also. You are listening to the lecture, you are happy. After that, again, the same routine will come. So, we get temporary happiness in this world as well. But it is not our desire. Our desire is to attain permanent happiness. We want to attain permanent happiness. That happiness cannot be attained by any of these dharma karma. Adyantavante vaisham lokaha karma nirmita dukkho darkas. They are full of miseries. Ultimately, will attain misery out of them. Dukkho darkas. Tamo nishtha. There is nothing except dark, dark, dark. Everything put us in the dark. Chudrananda. And the happiness which we attain through them, that is also very low class. It gives happiness only to the senses, and it is so temporary that after few minutes only you will feel that you are not attaining the same happiness. You eat something which is very sweet, very tasty, you have eaten that. After that, the taste has gone. You ate one rasgulla, it was extremely delicious. And after 1 hour, if I ask you that how was the rasgulla, you will say, oh, it was very delicious. So can you taste it now? No, I tasted only when I was eating. Only that time I can taste it. If you say that yes, I can taste it, I can have the taste of rasgulla right now, then there is no need of eating rasgulla ever again. Because whenever you want to eat rasgulla, you have the same taste. You can have the taste, but it is not possible. When we eat, we have the taste. When you embrace your child, when you embrace your husband, your wife, that time you get temporary happiness, and after that, it is finished. So, Chudrananda Shusharpita, so they are not the aim of our life. Even if there are many people, they are busy in doing many kind of yajna, jap, tap, etc. For that, the Bhagavad says that Samastasya Shramam Phalam Hedenu Rakshata. If somebody is doing lots of actions, they are busy in doing lots of karma dharma, but they are not worshipping God. Their mind is not attached to God. Then Shramastasya Shrama Phalam. The phal of their labor is just labor. They will tire. They will be tired. If you are doing some yajna for 3 hours, you will be tired. You are just singing or you bhajan without having any concept of God, without remembering God, your throat will be tired. If you are playing harmony, your fingers will be tired. But there will be no other fruit of that. And there is a very nice episode in Bhagavad. There were some very learned pandits of Mathura, and they were doing some big yajna in Mathura. Very big yajna. And one Lord Krishna, when he was with his friends in the forest, he was raising the cows, then he said, I am very hungry. He said to all his friends that I am very hungry today. So what will you eat? Bring something good. I want to eat some delicious thing. The boy said that, Kana, we are in the jungle. We are looking after the cows. How can we bring some goodies for you? He said, see, in Mathura at this time, they are having a big yajna. Today is the last day. On the last day, they make lots of scriptures food, many kind of sweets and pakwan, many other things they will make. So they have lots of very good food today. Go and tell them that Kanha is hungry, give some food for us. They went over there. The pandits were still doing the yajna. They were reciting the mantras and they were doing the yajna, havan, swaha, swaha. They were doing. The boys were standing there, they were telling them again and again, we are hungry, give us something to eat. We are hungry, give us something to eat. But they were not even listening. They were ignoring what the children were saying. But when they constantly said that give us something to eat, then they were all furious. One of them, they scolded very badly them. They, don't you know that our yajna is still going on? We can give anything to eat after the yajna is completely finished. Come after the yajna is finished. Go back from it. Never come over here. They scolded them very badly. They were so much disappointed. And then they went back to Lord Krishna and they said, Kanhaiya, they didn't give us anything. Rather, they scolded us so badly. Then Sri Krishna asked them, did you ask their wives as well? Then no, because the yajna was performed by only the men. The ladies were not seen over there. That's why I didn't ask anyone. We asked only the men. No, this time you go directly to the ladies and tell them that Kana is hungry. Give something to eat. Then they went inside the home. They asked the gopis, the ladies, that Kana is very hungry. Give something to eat. Oh, when they heard, they were so happy. They decorated the big thals of lots of food, different kind of food. All the gopis did the same thing. They dressed themselves very nicely. They had all kind of makeup and they decorated their big thals with very good food. And they said that we will go ourselves to feed him. And the boys were very happy, and all of them, they went and they fed Lord Krishna there, and then Lord Krishna gave them the blessings of bhakti. So when they came back from there, their heart was full of bhakti. They had so much knowledge. Now they were teaching the secrets of bhakti to the Pandits. When the Pandits came to know that Sri Krishna is God, and he asked, no, they when they do yajna, they offer whatever they make the food, that is called naivedya. They offer it in the fire. Vishnu Raratamasi Vishnu Ho Snaptresto Vishnu Ho Dhrosi Vaishnavamasi Vishnave Tva Swaha. Ask them, where is Vishnu? Don't ask me. Just keep on saying Swaha Swaha. Whenever I say Swaha, you put the food over here. Keep on, putting the food, dumping the food in the fire, that's all. They have no idea. And Lord, the food is offered to God, and he himself is standing there asking for food. They scolded God, get out from here. We have no food so far. Then they realized their mistake. After that, when they came to know that Sri Krishna is God, we ask for food and we refuse to give. And look at our wives. Nasam dvijati sanskaru nanivaso guravapi natapo natmamimangsha na shaucham na kriya shubha. They never went to Gurukul to have the knowledge of the Vedas. They never had Dvijati Sanskar, the Janeu Sanskar as well. They never had the, there is one kind of puja, that worship of purification. They were not purified as well with the mantras as well. But they attained the whole fruit of our yajna. We did so much labor and we could not attain anything. Rather, we offended God. So we did sin. We were doing this yajna to attain some punya, to attain some good results. Rather, we did something wrong. We offended God. So, dhik janmanastra vidvidyam, dhik vratam, dhik bhagyatam, dhik kulam, dhik kriyadaksham, vimukha yetva dhokshade. Now they are implicating themselves. Dhik, they are saying dhikkar. Means woe to our education, the knowledge of doing all these yajna, etc. Woe to our great clans. Dhik kulam, dhik kriyadaksham. Why? Vimukha yeta dhokshade. Because we were vimukh. We were not worshipping. We had no love for the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. They realized it. And then they also admired their luck. They said, Dhanya Vayam. They said, we are still blessed. Why? Yasam nastadishi striya. Aho vayam dhanyatama yasam nastadishi striya. Because we have got such a good ladies. Yasam bhaktir. Because of them, we could understood that who is Shyam Sundar. And through them, Bhaktya Asam Matir Jata. In our head also, the inkling, the cognizance of bhakti came. Otherwise, we didn't know that bhakti is that important. If bhakti is there, if Sri Krishna bhakti is there, if the love for lotus feet of Sri Krishna is there, then there is no need of doing all these yajna. There's so much labor in doing one yajna only. And we have been doing all that. We are spending so much money, we are spending so much time in doing all that thing. But We didn't do bhakti. Without bhakti, everything is wasted. They realize it later on. The gopis are saying, Yat patya patya suhridamanu vidhirangas strinam swadharma iti dharma vidatma yoktam aspevam etadupadesha pade tvaishe preshto bhavan karu. They're saying, the dharma you depicted, the dharma you was talking about, it should apply to you alone. Because you are the only object of devotion. You are the only personality who everybody should love to get the fruit of any action. We perform any action, any kind of action written in the Vedas or in any other scripture. We are doing jap or tap or yajna, following any kind of niyam. There is no use at all if we are away from your lotus feet. That's why, Kanha, don't say like that. And we are here to have your love. We are here for Maharaj. So please us with this pastime of Maharaj and don't talk to us. Go. Then Lord Krishna smiled because he had no answer of their questions. They explained everything through the Veda, they explained everything from the Bhagavad Gita, etc. And now there was no answer with Sri Krishna. And Sri Krishna accepted. And what did he do when he accepted that, okay, now I will give you, I will fulfill my promise now, and I will give you the ras of Maharaj. But they were in such a bad condition, they were badly disabled, that how can you dance like this? Maharaj dance, somebody is having kajal in one eye, somebody having one earring, somebody is having the ornament of neck in the waist, somebody was having the ornament of waist in their neck. They said, you are not looking good in that way. So you should look good, go and get ready, then we will start this Maharaj tomorrow. Bolliye Meri Sarkar ki jai. आरती प्रीतम सतगुरु सरकार की जय। ममतामयी प्यारी प्यारी अम्मा की जय। भक्ति धाम मनगढ़ की जय। निकुंज विहारी अलवेली सरकार की जय। जय जय श्री राम।